I'm banging my hot neighbor and I can't help it. I was 21 when I finally moved out a year ago from my parents' house. The apartments I moved in are nice, well kept and maintained, the people are okay and there's rarely any crime happening despite living in a big city. My neighbors are cool, they're all families that keep to themselves and cause no problems. However, on the first floor below me lives a woman that I didn't personally meet until about a week after I moved in. My life changed after meeting this woman in a way I never thought I would ever live. I won't say her real name out of respect, so I'll call her Lizzie. I met Lizzie one morning as I was checking my car's oil before I headed out. I had a day off from work but I still woke up early for the gym. Her car was parked 2 spaces away. She was walking up to her car as I was just coming back from my apartment to refill my car with more oil. I noticed that her car wouldn't start when she got in. After a couple of tries, I offered to help her find the problem since she was in a hurry to drop off her son to school and then get to work. I found out she had a dead battery, so I quickly got my jumper cables and finally got her car to start. I didn't expect to get thanked with a hug from her because at that time, I was single and I haven't talked to girls that interested me. I was taken aback by Lizzie's hug, and I'm not complaining. It felt so warm having her arms wrapped around me. She smelled so good. Short stature, raven hair, olive skin with curves, a big bust and a big round SS. She's an extremely attractive woman. After I tell her she'll have to buy a new battery since her current one won't last long, she asks me if I could get her a new one, install it, since she doesn't know about cars, and in the end she'll pay me back. Being the nice person I am, I get her a new battery and she gives me her phone number so that she can text me her work address so that I can go install the new one on her car. I reject the payment, but she insists on paying me for actually taking my time to come all this way to help her out. I accept the money and tell her it's no problem helping people out when they need it. Later, I got a text from her. She thanks me again and appreciates me for helping her out. She invited me over to have dinner at her place on the next day, which was a Friday. Hesitating, I accept. Wouldn't want free dinner to save themselves from having to cook? Dinner was nice and I got to know her and her son a lot more. She insisted I call her by her name instead of the formal way Ms. She's single, 39, divorced her ex-husband for cheating on her a couple years ago. Her ex has custody of her 7-year-old son during the weekends, pretty quiet kid and does what he is told. She works as a sales representative at a building materials supply store. She goes on to talk about how hard it has been for both her and her son to live after the divorce and having to support him as a single mother. I go on and talk about myself as well so that she could get to know me. I tried not to go too personal, but hearing how far she did, I had no choice but to make the conversation fair. The experience was overwhelming. It's a feeling I haven't had in a while. Having dinner with Lizzie was like being on a date. I went on dates before with girls my age, but I've never been on a date with a woman that's almost 20 years older than me. Old enough to be my mother. Every time I listened to her talk, I couldn't control myself seeing how sexy this woman looked and sounded. We ended up chatting all night past dinner and her son going to bed. It was just the two of us now sitting next to each other on her couch, living the moment. We were laughing and drinking too, just having a good time. I flirted with her. I tried to be subtle, but I noticed she was being more direct. I felt the alcohol influencing me and my intrusive thoughts were beginning to get the best of me. Then it happened instantly. We leaned over to each other and kissed. We ended up doing it right there on the spot. On her couch. 100% naked, knowing her son could walk in on us at any second if we made too much noise. Despite being the first time she has had intimacy in a while.